Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about a Paladin build that I have made here. His name is Aelin Mornward. He is a Paladin of Aristil. He travels from farm to farm, helping out farmers and really just helping people live in peace. He's not necessarily out to, be a hero, but at the same time he wants people to be able to live without being killed by monsters. So he really just fights to defend people, and that's going to be the common theme about this character, because I made this with the idea of, okay, I'm going to make a tank. Somebody that maybe doesn't do an insane amount of damage, but can do decent damage and protect the party pretty well. So, that being said, I just went human, pretty standard, charisma, it's paladin, charisma's good for paladins. Strength up to 17, dex 12, uh, con 12, wisdom 12, or sorry, int 7, wisdom 12, and charisma 20. You don't really have a reason to have the intelligence stat, and from a backstory perspective, my character is not some book smart person, somebody that grew up on a farm and goes around and helps farmers and stuff like that. So wisdom is normal, but intelligence is probably going to be a little bit low because he hasn't had any formal schooling. So that being said, now we go over to the paladin abilities. I chose blinded, cursed, diseased, and staggered. Now, staggered might not be the best choice, but I find that it can be kind of annoying, so I take it. I didn't see anything else that looked too great. Shaken, there's probably an argument to be made that shaken could be pretty good here, but all of these are really handy to have, because if you can remove a curse, remove blindness, remove disease just by touching someone with your lay on hands, that's pretty good. I chose the Divine Bond Angelic because, we're trying to be a tank, so whenever I activate this, I am giving everybody a +5 resistance bonus, as well as a +5 deflection bonus. So that's pretty damn good. Like, I mean, that's almost like I'm giving them my charisma modifier to all their saves. I can do this 3 times a day, and it lasts, let's see, how long did it say it lasts? Yeah, 1 minute per paladin level, so I mean, that's pretty good. You really can make some people pretty tanky with this, especially considering, I can give them a deflection bonus. So, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. For spells, you're going to notice I have Compel Hostility, so this is really cool because it is a instantaneous spell, if I'm not mistaken. And what it does is, whenever a creature you can see threatens you, makes an attack against one of your allies, you can compel it to attack you instead. When I compel a creature to attack you, you must first overcome that creature's spell resistance, and he can make a saving throw to resist the compulsion. So, your saving throws aren't going to be that high, so this isn't going to, so higher levels this is going to be as effective, but it'll still be okay. Divine Favor, you give yourself a +1 luck bonus on attack and weapon damage rolls for every 3 caster levels, maximum +3, so I just get a +3 to attack and weapon damage rolls. Hero's Defiance, whenever I'm reduced to 0 or fewer hit points, I can expend a use of my Lay on Hands to heal myself, so I'd use Lay on Hands plus an additional 1d6 hit points. So if I ever try almost go down, I can Lay on Hands for 7d6. So, that's not too bad. It's a pretty good way to stay in shape. So, Aura of Greater Courage, use this. So if you ever walk into a room, there's an AoE fear. Well, I'm already immune to fear, but my team is not. So use this, give everybody fear immunity. Can be pretty good in boss fights and things like that. Paladin Sacrifice. So when a creature in range is hit by an attack or fails a saving throw, I can cast this spell, and the wounds and effects are transmitted to me instead. It says I'm affected by this if I was hit by the attack or failed the saving throw, taking all the damage and suffering all the adverse effects. Any resistances or immunities you have are applied normally. So, if they fail something for like compulsion or charm, right? So I'm immune to charm, I'm immune to disease, I'm immune to fear. So if they fail, like, for example, you get bit by a werewolf and lycanthropy is kind of annoying to cure, I can actually Paladin sacrifice it to me, and then bam, I'm immune to disease, so it doesn't actually end up affecting me. You know, stuff like that. Like, really good stuff. Okay. So then we're going to have Righteous Vigor. So infusing the target with a surge of furious divine energy, enhance a creature's ability to hit an opponent based on the number of times it has already hit that opponent with a successful attack. So it's a cumulative +1 morale bonus to a max of +4, and you gain 1d8 temporary hit points to a maximum of 20. And then if it misses, the attack resets. So this is pretty good. You can kind of, so if you're fighting with somebody side by side, in my mind, the way I would use this is if I'm fighting next to, like, I don't know, like a fighter, right, or a rogue or something like that, and they're somewhere around me, I would use this on them to help buff their hit points and to help buff their to hit, as opposed to using it on me because I already have 195 HP, so it's like, you know, what do I need it for, right? Magic weapon, so this is pretty good. So I did take this, but this isn't necessarily something you're always going to have to take. I actually have a magic weapon that's pretty good, but this lasts for hours, so you don't really have a reason to buy a magic weapon or to buy a +1 weapon because you can just use this. It'll pretty much be the same thing. So that's not too bad. Second Wind. So if I'm ever if I'm ever dropped below a quarter of my health, I heal 2d8 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, and then I can cast this as a swift action if I'm, or an immediate action, as an immediate action if I'm brought below 0 hit points. So again, it's just so hard to kill me. Like, it's just so hard, right? Like, that's the idea here. I want to make it hard to kill them. I want to be up in their face. You know, I don't care if I one-shot them. I just want to be annoying, right? I have good saves. I have good HP. I have 30 AC. Pretty solid stuff. Okay, Resounding Blow. So if I have something smited, my weapon, whenever I hit, they take a d6 points of sonic damage, and they are going to be staggered unless they pass the fort save. And then on a successful critical hit, the target is stunned and deafened for 1d6 rounds. And if I'm using Judgment or Smite, they only get 1 save instead of the 2. So for me, against like a boss and stuff, this could potentially be pretty good, especially if you crit. So, that being said, going to skills, I mean, Perception, Diplomacy, that's really it. I don't care about anything else. I'm a Paladin. Maybe you could put points into Sense Motive, but you know, you're not a skill monkey with this. Feats, I like to take Cleave, Cleaving Finish, Great Cleave, and then All-Consuming Swing, and the reason why is because I also took the Vital Strike feats, so this just makes it so I can cleave more people. So you have Cleave, then you have Cleaving Finish, and if what Cleaving Finish does is if I make a melee attack and your target drops to 0 or fewer hit points as a result of the attack, I can make another melee attack at my highest, being against another opponent within reach. I can only make 1 extra attack per round. So if I kill somebody with an attack and he's standing next to somebody, I get an extra attack. So it's like I cleave, hit somebody, because Great Cleave is going to allow me to keep hitting until I run out of people that I haven't hit. And if any of those people go down, I get another hit from Cleaving Finish, right? So I can just chain, you know, be hitting people. And then All-Consuming Swing allows me to, so it allows me to put Vital Strike on the very first target, but I have to take damage equal to the amount of damage dealt by Vital Strike, which isn't a huge deal. So if I go to cleave somebody and I use All-Consuming Swing, I could add like 2 or 3, my 1d8 goes up to 3d8. So, not too bad, not too bad. Not amazing, but, you know, not the worst thing. Power attack, at this point it'd be a -4 + 8. And Tower Shield Proficiency, just so I can get a really sick shield. So I'm going to weapons. The best weapon for a Paladin, in my opinion, is Holy Avenger. So it's normally a +2 Cold Iron Longsword, but it becomes a +5 in the hands of a Paladin. So if you can get your hands on one of these and have someone make it, you can get a +5 weapon for 60,000 gold. It gives you spell resistance of 5 plus your level. So right now I would have 18 spell resistance, which is all right. It gives a chance of failure for spells. It also allows me to cast Greater Dispel Magic once per round as a standard action at the class level of a Paladin. So that's pretty wild to just be able to just spell magic every round. So pretty good. Pretty good. Now, moving on to armor. +3 tower shield, +3 full plate, pretty standard, just gives me high AC. Magic items, belt of physical might, strength and con, increase the con. Headband of alluring charisma. You don't really need wisdom or you already have really good saves just being a paladin because you get your charisma to this, so it's better to just try to bump up the charisma. You don't necessarily need it. I mean, obviously it is still better if you get wisdom too, because you get to double dip on the on your will save, but it's not 100% necessary. Boots of speed, this gives you an extra attack. So in play, when it comes to combat, so you want to try to stand near people just so you can use compel hostility, hero's defiance, just all these things, paladin sacrifice, these things that protect your team. You also want people to be standing in your aura, right? So aura of resolve, they get a +4 morale bonus against charm. I can grant, I can expend 2 uses of my smite to grant somebody the ability to smite, and then the aura of courage, they get a +4 fear effect. So you want to be kind of around people because this is only a 10 feet thing, so they have to be relatively close to you to benefit from it, right? Then you have channel positive energy, which is 76. I can do this 7 times a day. Pretty good. You just have a pretty solid heal. If your healer is busy helping someone else, you can lay on hands somebody. And you can lay on hands as a swift action. So you can swift action lay on hands, standard action channel positive energy. Boom. Beautiful. You just did an absolute. So 66 plus 76. So you can do 13d6 of healing to one target and then 7d6 to everybody. So you have really good AoE healing. On top of, don't forget the Divine Bond that gives everybody a huge deflection bonus and that +5. So now moving into combat, now that you understand what you can do for your group. So first, if we go hasted, power attack, vital strike, smite, evil, and this, you're going to do on one attack 3d8 plus 45. So if we go through here, so let's see, see if you do 3 times 8, 24 plus 45. So you divide that by 2, your average damage is going to be like 34.5 on a smited target if you're just doing a vital strike. I took vital strike mainly for cleaving. You're going to do more damage if you just don't vital strike. So as you can see here, right, even with the power attack penalty, if somebody is smited, they're dying. 27, 27, 22, 17 at a d8 plus 32. So that's 4 attacks. So now we can go, so now you go 4 times, so now we can go 4 times 8. So 32. Okay, so 32 times 4 plus 32. Oh, so 160 potential max damage, with the first attack doing an extra, like, oh god, what's that first attack do? Yeah, with the first attack doing an extra 13 damage, so we can add, so 160 plus 13, so against a smited target, 173 max within, oh, Jesus, god, what am I doing? Okay, within 86.5 average whenever you're fully buffed like that. So, not bad. You don't do the most amazing damage, but that's not the point. You're a paladin. You are just there to be annoying. You're there to really help your team, to be a off healer, etc., etc. All right. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy this paladin build. I hope this helps. If you if you want to copy this and play this, if your group needs a tank/off healer, I'd love to hear about how it goes for you. Alrighty, thank you.